Hey sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Nanyacim. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash the subscribe button, turn on the notification so you get notified each time I upload, and please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all, and I want to say a very big thank you to every one of you for always coming back to watch my videos. You all are awesome. So today I already got something I saw on the internet making waves, and I was like, I am definitely bringing it here so we all can talk about it. And it's actually about a biracial lady that called herself white, and she says that she can use N word, right? So this really got people pissed and all of that. And you know what? I will be dropping the video and then we'll come back to talk about it. Then I am gonna run the stitches so you all will see what people got to say about it. With that being said, let's get into this video.
A white girl who says the N-word. What are you gonna do about it? I don't have a brand for you to cancel. I don't have a school for you to get me expelled from. I don't have a job for you to get me fired from.
Oh, she kind of sounds like she's worthless. Yeah, from what she said. And first of all, start with asking, what are we gonna, of course, we're not gonna do anything. Are we gonna flog you? No, we won't. We can't flog you. And she went for that to say she got no brand to, like, because she looks like she is jobless. Yeah. And again, she said, I do not have any brand or something. She's jobless. Yeah. And she got no education. So, sis, so the only thing she won is the fact that she can say the N word, you know, and nothing else. You know, sometimes I feel like some people just come online to mess around and to mess themselves up, because sometimes some of the things you say or do might end up coming back to haunt you and the rest of it. As you can see, she thinks like not having a job, not having school fees or this thing, like, you know, it's a big flex, and she went for that to roast herself. Like, she is kind of telling us the kind of person she is. Yeah, because what do I have to do with someone like this, or what do I even have to talk to or talk about someone like this? She got nothing. She is dumb. She got no education. She got no job. She got nothing. Nada. All right. So the best is that, like, you know, probably she looks pretty. And maybe probably someday one man will, like, you know, come and carry this one, and like he ends up in frying pan or something like that. I mean, time this is no longer the time like people think being pretty can get you a whole lot of things and all that. You really have to be pretty and at the same time smart. So I think I would all have pretty and everything, but she's so dumb. Yeah, she sounds so dumb. I am sorry to say that, but then you know what, let's get into the stitches and see what people got to say about this. All right. Yeah.
A white girl who says the N-word. What are you gonna do about it? I don't have a brand for you to cancel. I don't have a school for you to get me expelled from. I don't have a job for you to get me fired from.
That was quite a read, but I could do better. This white girl supports my theory that there is no one on this earth that feels a bigger sense of imposter syndrome than white people who feel like they're imposters to being white. Let me explain. So people of color, we tend to feel imposter syndrome when we feel like we're encroaching on white spaces that we don't deserve to be in. But I feel like there's also white people who feel imposter syndrome when they don't feel like they have lived up to or earned all the fruits of being white. Over the last few years, there's been a mass social education about how deep the roots of white supremacy are. It's not just about white people once upon a time being slave owners anymore. Like, we've unraveled how much deep systemic power, privilege, and resource comes with being white. Now imagine that education through the lens of a white person like this who embodies the idea of mediocrity. You don't have a job, you don't have an education, you don't have goals you're working towards. What does it really mean to you to somehow have all this power? It feels like it can't possibly be true, because if all this power, all this privilege and resource comes with being white, how come you are so mediocre as a white person? Sometimes they just deny that white supremacy exists if it doesn't apply to them. But I think it goes even deeper than that, because they want that power. Who doesn't want to be at the top of the social hierarchy? They want that privilege and that resource that comes with them. It sounds great. So what do when they feel like they're not getting those systemic benefits? They turn to real, tangible ways to exert that power. Because if they're not good enough to be extreme, then they're going to make everybody else feel like they're worse than their mediocrity. I feel like that's why these people have such an affinity for saying the N-word and other racial slurs, because anybody can say it. You don't need to have this wielding systemic power to be able to say it. You could just call somebody the N-word and be able to stand there and feel so powerful over them because you think you're exerting this incredible amount of discrimination and oppression against them. That act of saying the N-word feels like it personifies the social power you're supposed to have. It makes you feel so incredibly powerful in order to settle the cognitive dissonance that you have about supposedly having all this power, but individually being so mediocre.
Says the N-word. What are you gonna do about it? I don't have a brand for you to cancel. I don't have a school for you to get me expelled from. I don't have a job for you to get me fired from.
Oh? So what this uncooked chicken is basically saying is that she's broke, she's uneducated, and she can't even get an employment. And you're racist. You see, the third strike, but then you add on the fourth, it's just like you're just a mistake. So what have you got to say that has really got to affect people? And I'm confused. She's like, what are we gonna do? We can cancel her. We can't. Girl, I don't know why you're so worried about human beings today. It's the spirits you should be worried about, baby. Because when I tell you black ancestors work harder than the fucking devil, bitch, you see them glasses you wear right now? Baby, you are just temporarily blind. You can be permanently blind.
So you can be permanently blind. All right, let's get into the next one.
A white girl who says the N-word. What are you gonna do about it? I don't have a brand for you to cancel. I don't have a school for you to get me expelled from. I don't have a job for you to get me fired.
When you teach children or raise children, you tell them, oh, don't say that word. That's a naughty word to say. And you don't tell them, oh, don't say that because, you're going to get canceled from school or get canceled on Twitter. Because we teach them as young people that certain words are going to be harmful for you to say, or certain people are not going to like hearing that language come out of your mouth. There's not necessarily real life world consequences to things that we might say. It might catch up to you in the future, though. If you eventually get a job or eventually go to school, someone can pull that back from years ago. But my point is that guilt is also a feeling and an emotion that can really be useful. At least for me is. If I feel any guilt or weirdness about saying or doing something, I feel like that's my internal intuition that God has given me to say, hey, that's probably not something you should do, because even if it doesn't hurt me outwardly, inwardly it hurts me. I'm not comfortable using the N-word, and I don't feel like it's proper language that Muslims should be using, because I like respectful and kind ways to talk to others. And if you are using language towards others and just out loud that people are uncomfortable with, this is going to reflect on you in some way, because people are going to look at you and say, that's not a person I want to associate with because I don't like how they talk. So again, you may not have consequences now, but people may not like you, and you may be hurting people if you care at all about hurting people.
Yes, I'm a white girl who says the N-word. What are you gonna do about it?
If I'm being real with you, I don't give a damn. I would rather talk about something that you said to a dark-skinned black woman. What was this about? And why was it said? You want to get into this as well? I guess this is you on your alternative account. And it's very clear that you don't really care. In the rest of her first video, y'all, she then goes on to show pictures of her family in which she does have black people in her family. I guess to validate or prove her blackness. I guess I find it interesting how in one breath you can disrespect a black woman, but also try to validate your blackness as if you aren't anti-black. I understand that your personality is being a hater, and that's something that people with no genuine or kind personality tend to do. But to try to validate something you genuinely don't really respect is very weird. I just think it's rather embarrassing. But that's just my 2 cents.
Sometimes I kind of feel bad, internet has given so many people kind of power to come out and say nasty things to people without even thinking about it, And she is not a child. She is old enough, to know what is good and what is bad. But then, she decided to come say, like, bad words on people. It's kind of really crazy. Sometimes I ask myself, like, how do people come out and do this? Do they not have family? Do they not have like people they are accountable for? But then it is what it is, internet and all that. And you see, there are some things we say, and it ends up catching, like, catching up on us. Maybe not today, but eventually tomorrow. But like she already said, it looks like she is not scared of anything because she got no job, she got no education, she got nothing that will kind of like, that will stop her from like being naughty, because she's naughty. We already using the N word on people, and the best way is like, I also feel like she did that because, like, she feels she's right, and for that reason she can, like, say anything she wants and like get away with it, or think, the superiority and all that, like I am superior and the very, like, and the rest of it. But then really I am kind of confused, and sometimes the things I see on the internet, like, baffles me. Like, I don't know where we are heading to, like where we are headed to. But then yeah, it is what it is. So this is where I'm gonna draw the curtain, and I hope the internet really gets real good on her. Yeah, I hope they really do get get good grip on her. All right, guys, this is where I'm gonna stop, and I want to say a very big thank you to you all, and see you all in my next video. Bye for now.